This year, see Europe from an American point of view, with daily service to 13 cities, including new service to Brussels, Stockholm, Lyon, and Hamburg. American Airlines, something special to Europe.
Don't I get 2 pizzas for the price of 1?
Don't think of it as 1 pizza. Think of it as 1 pizza and 1 box.
What am I going to do with a box?
Ever hear of origami?
What's that?
A pterodactyl.
A what?
At Little Caesars, you never get just 1 pizza. You get
Pizza.
2 great pizzas for 1 low price.
The challenge started in June of 1988. The North Stars made Mike Modano the #1 pick in the NHL draft. It was Lou Nanne's last official act before moving from general manager to club president. The new era was about to begin. In came Jack Ferreira to assume the general manager's duties. His first major step was to bring in a fiery coach from Calgary named Pierre Pagé. The North Stars were ready to head in the right direction. When training camp kicked off in September, the Stars had 61 players in camp. 61 people trying to win a place on the NHL roster, trying to improve the North Star franchise, and feeling at camp seemed synonymous.
There is a change.
I think there's going to be a lot of changes.
I think we need changes.
The changes would come throughout the season. At Kalamazoo, the biggest change was working on hockey from 9 to 5. There was time for some recreation, be it a night at the bowling alley, a friendly ping pong match, or a stroll through a Kalamazoo shopping center. But for most, this was a time to get physically and mentally ready for a long season, a time to reflect on the past, to help motivate for the future.
Well, you know, I don't know if you really want to forget them. Totally. You want to remember how bad it was and try to make things better. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take us all time. But if we come with a positive attitude every day to practice or games or whatever, things will eventually turn our way.
It would not happen overnight. New faces and new philosophies take time to gel. But the North Stars showed signs of a new and improved team early in the exhibition season. On October 6th, the North Stars took the ice with a new look and a new approach. The regular season kicked off with St. Louis. As the Stars learned the new system, they took their lumps early in the season.
Score!
The talent needed to be nurtured. The character was beginning to show, but the chemistry needed time. A slow start was hardly what the Stars had hoped, but patience would have to be a virtue. Pagé had decided the key would be defense. That meant the players would have to adjust.
I thought we were on the right track, and I can see that some people are just fighting what we're trying to do, which is normal, because you're trying to make them do different things. And if the success was there right away, they'd be buying things a lot quicker. When the success is not there, then there's doubts in their mind. But there can't be any doubts because they're either going to do it or somebody else is going to do it.
It didn't take long for a new-look North Star team to emerge. The Stars' defensive approach began to create offensive opportunities.
Score! A little chip shot by Gagne. Here's Manfa. A blast by Bellows, and it's in! This Bellows at right point. Here's
The North Stars began to get the edge on opponents, playing an entertaining style of hockey, realizing this might not be the year to win the Stanley Cup, but to build a foundation for the future.
You can't just go in and make patchwork here or there. The players that are in here and the deals they've made are for the future, and you know, that's the way you have to build. They can't build just for the next game or for the next week, but I think they're building, you know, for next year and the year after, and to build a team up.
As the building process took form, so did the talent. Each year you hope for pleasant surprises. One such surprise came in the form of Dave Gagne. Originally assigned to Kalamazoo, Gagne's tenure there lasted just one game. Here was a player who would not be denied. He was a new North Star sensation.
Yeah, I do have a good feeling of accomplishment, but you know, I didn't expect it to turn out as good as it did, and I feel really lucky that I had the opportunity this time around. I've, you know, had a lot of ice time all year. My responsibilities have increased, so I mean, it's made it a lot easier for me to be successful this time with all the ice time you're getting. You know, it's your fault if you can't do it this time.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise. You know, the guy comes here as a penalty killing specialist, and all of a sudden he's our top scorer, our top plus and minus. Heart and soul, works hard every game, plays well at home and on the road. I hope we get a few more surprises like this.
Behind a good defensive game is a good goaltender. John Casey's approach to the game of hockey came right out of his Grand Rapids home. Casey was willing to get down and dirty. His blue-collar demeanor represented what the North Stars were becoming. Casey finished with the second best save percentage in the entire NHL. And by the end of November, the North Stars started showing signs of being one of the most improved teams in the league. What had begun as a rocky season was starting to unfold into what Paget and Ferreira had envisioned.
I think just a combination of Pierre finally settling on some line combinations that he wanted, and maybe getting some good practice time with a couple of two-a-days, that things start to come together a little bit.
The stands were coming alive at Met Center. The Met Center has been home to the North Stars since they came into the league in 1967. It is a building that has come to represent hockey, a place for family and friends to be entertained, not just by hockey, but by a festive atmosphere that promotes excitement.
Now the North Stars come back with Musil. He's tied up by Brian McClellan, his former teammate. The puck back to Giles.
Cold pop, cold Pepsi.
In 1988-89, the North Stars provided much of the Met Center excitement. By December, they were recognized as a team on the rise, competitive and improving, or as Pierre Paget put it,
Puis disons que les partisans sont déçus. Ils ont raison d'être déçus. Il faut s'améliorer, il faut mieux jouer.
Well put, Pierre. If he wasn't talking about the team on the ice, he may have been talking about the team off the ice. The North Stars have always come to the forefront in community involvement, going out of their way to try and make other people feel special. It may be Franta Musil explaining to a high school class how he came from Czechoslovakia.
Czechoslovakia is a small country in Central Europe.
Or singing Christmas carols to senior citizens. Or visiting the Veterans Hospital. The North Stars are more than hockey players. They are important parts of the community and take great pride in making others feel better.
It's fun for us to come out and put a little joy into these people have to spend Christmas in the hospital, and you know, it's a good way to give something back to the community.
Back on the ice, the Stars continued to shine. Green, black, and gold were becoming feared colors in the league. The Stars were hitting on all cylinders on a more consistent basis. A new system had been implemented, and it was starting to take shape. Paget was proving that being prepared was a big part of that improvement.
Pierre is excellent with the X's and O's and the strategy, and the whole coaching staff before every game has us very prepared. Dougie with the penalty killing, George with other things. They work well together. I think they complement each other very well.
The North Stars maintained a focus on the present with an eye to the future. Mike Modano may be a big part of that future. The #1 pick in the NHL draft played junior hockey at Prince Albert before an injury sidelined him in the Western Junior Hockey League All-Star game. But Modano's skills need only polishing. North Star fans will learn in the future that Modano is a player to watch, one who will add to the already solid nucleus established by the Stars. That nucleus was taking form in January, but the defensive approach was still inconsistent, and Paget was forced in 1988 and 9 to make many changes, creating a team in his own design. 2 North Star mainstays retired, Craig Hartsburg and Dennis Marouk. Dennis Marouk was always a crowd favorite, and he was a goal scorer, but a knee injury forced him to retire after 15 years in the NHL. Perhaps no defenseman in North Star history had the talents found in Craig Hartsburg, but recurring injuries forced Hartsey to leave the game he loved and take on a new role as an assistant coach.
Finally, probably the thing I'm going to miss most, and the people I'm going to miss most, is my teammates over the last 10 years.
But with the outgoing, new talent arrived. From Washington came Larry Murphy and right winger Mike Gartner, eager to make an impact in Minnesota.
I really look forward to the challenge now ahead. What's happened in the past, over the past 10 years, I'm proud of, but that's history right now. I think a new page has been turned, a new chapter started in my life, and that's going to be right here in Minnesota, and I am very much looking forward to the challenge, and I'm looking forward to being part of the rebuilding stage here.
It didn't take long for Gartner to make a name. He was a natural leader by example both on and off the ice, creating instant excitement with the puck on his stick. Gartner added to the talent, character, and chemistry of the team. The North Stars' philosophies were his philosophies.
The biggest thing that they're doing right is building a work ethic. They're trying to build a foundation for the team and the franchise on the work ethic, and I can't see a better way to do it than doing it just the way it's being done.
The hard work ethic paid dividends. The Stars made a stretch run, highlighting it with a disciplined yet entertaining style of play. They moved into second place in the Norris Division by the end of January. It was apparent the new players were starting to blend. Players like Don Barber. Barber was part of the promising young talent brought in to solidify the team. Barber had a highlight night against the Chicago Blackhawks, burning them for the hat trick and showing why the future is so bright for the Stars.
Don Barber, the rookie, has a hat trick.
The Stars continued to grow. They were able to offset some of the league's best with veteran wingers like Stuart Gavin, a top-line checker with the ability to score.
I enjoy the challenge of one-on-one, trying to beat the opposing player and try to keep him at bay, and just hopefully that someone on our team will pick up on the offensive side and we'll win the game.
Improvement was the key word used to describe the North Stars. Only the Los Angeles Kings with Wayne Gretzky improved more. The Stars jumped 19 big points over 1987 and 88. New faces and new philosophies had come together to give the state of Minnesota fireworks on ice. For the first time in 3 years, the North Stars would be part of the NHL playoffs, a spot earned by a team committed to talent, character, chemistry. Anticipation was high as the Stars began a journey to St. Louis for a playoff date with the Blues. Perhaps no one was more eager for the postseason than a group that had supported the team from start to finish, a group that had seen the highs and lows. The players' wives formed a unique support network for what can be a trying profession.
It's always nice to have the other wives, to have as friends, and they know what you're going through, and you know, they understand what it's like when your husband's away and not to be close to your family.
The trip to St. Louis proved a difficult test of endurance, despite a hat trick from Bob Brook in Game 1.
But there was Bob Brook.
And a valiant effort in Game 2. The Stars came up short in overtime on both occasions.
I want guys to get mad. I just don't want guys, I want guys to step on the ice and be a little more desperate.
Back home to Met Center was the next stop, and the Blues made it a successful trip to Minnesota by winning Game 3.
He scores!
But one more time, the Stars would be asked to reach down and test their character. And one more time, they responded. Game 4 proved how far they had come, battling back in the final minutes, then striking with a Don Barber goal to win it and send the green and gold faithful into a frenzy. The trip back to St. Louis was too much without leading scorer Dave Gagne, who was lost for the playoffs with a knee injury. The Stars came up short.
The Blues come right back.
But the end of the season marked a new beginning. The North Stars had built a foundation with talent, character, chemistry, and you give us the edge.
You know, it's been a while since this team's been in the playoffs, so it was a little bit of a new experience for a lot of people, and I think it's only a positive thing. I think only positive things are going to happen in the North Star organization.
I think there's been a lot of progress. Our defensive play definitely was shown very brightly in the last 50 games. The first 10 games was real slow, and then you know, we got off to a real slow start, and then after that we went like 2 games under 500 the rest of the way.
A lot of the young players who have come up, you know, they've played well and they've improved, you know, this game after game. So, you know, that's a great sign. And our older players are, you know, great character players, and you know, I feel that very stable and happy to be here.
I think just to get the players to believe in themselves and to be proud and to find out who they are. I think they're a good, aggressive hockey team in terms of defensive hockey. It's not a passive defensive team. We're going at people, and as soon as we get more people, they can put the puck in the net, and defensemen that can maybe support the offense a little better, then you're going to have a very aggressive, exciting hockey club that can score goals and play defense.